Namaskara, Bangalore. That was, is it Monday? Am I working in the wrong calendar? Come on, guys, it's Friday. You get a good off, you get to enjoy your Friday evening, and you get to attend an Atlassian event early in the morning. I mean, what could be better, right? Again, Namaskara, Bangalore. Okay, much better. But I'm still not satisfied, so we're going to do a few things so we can fully wake you up. I see a few imposters over here who are not fully awake, and they're like, I don't want none of that, okay? So I want everyone to stand up. Simon says, stand up. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This will also help all of our friends to get some time to log in. See, people who didn't stand up now, I know, no? Who's paying attention? Who has what attention span? Come on, okay, everyone is up. Let's start with a simple exercise. I want you to point up. I want you to point down. Okay, so now I know who's listening and who's not. Is this down? This is down. Point down. मैं जो भी कर रही हूँ, I'm doing what I want to do. Point down. Point up. Point left. Point right. Now move it in. And move the other hand in. Come on. Sara Zamana. So we go left. And we go right. And we go left. Left, right. Come on, guys. Left, right, left. Again. We go left. And we go right. And we go left and stay on the left. And we go right. And freeze. On the right. On the right. Where is your right? Right. Freeze. So if anyone hasn't had coffee, you can get coffee from there. Okay? Everyone had coffee? Later shouldn't come. I'm sleepy. Shouldn't even look sleepy, guys. Not allowed. Okay? Now that everyone's a little bit awake, we will be doing stand-up elimination. No one will sit down. I can see few people sitting down. Okay. So, how many of you are new to Atlassian? You all can sit down. Newcomers, I don't want to traumatize you on your first day. How many of you, guys, this is a game of honor. Just because you want to sit down, you can't sit down. How many of you woke up before 6 o'clock in the morning? Because you knew today is Friday and you'll get some jam. You can sit down. I feel you guys. Come on, okay. Now, how many of you knew this is a boot camp? Because so many of you were just clueless in the morning. Okay, you all can sit down. I think not many people left. Sir, agar aapko khada rehna, if you want to stay standing, I really don't mind. All right, is everyone awake now? If you're not, please raise your hands. Raise your hands. See? Okay, guys. So I'll be handing this session over to Girish now. All right? And I wish you good luck, and I hope you enjoy this session thoroughly. All the best, guys. Have a great day.
Good morning again. I think you had a good energizer by now. I think today is the very first time, almost after a decade, I can tell you, that we had these many participants, especially on a work day. So I want to really applaud, and this applaud is from every one of us here to every one of you sitting over there. And I know it's tough to take out your personal time. You know, you might have meetings, and some of you are, I think, having holiday today because of festivity around Karnataka. So I want to once again thank you for being with us and helping us grow this community. So come for the product knowledge, stay for the community. And then I also wanted to quickly walk you through a few of the facts about our community. And this is the new logo, which is, now I'm revealing it. This is the new logo which we just adopted a month ago. Nothing to do with the Indian hockey team and the color. It's just a coincidence. And it was one of the approved colors from Atlassian for Bangalore. So I'm happy for the color. And then, okay, so this is what number is this? Can somebody tell me? Only people who are repeatedly coming to this community event know what number that was. So how many of you knew this already? So rest of you all coming here for the first time? Great. So it's 4,541 members strong, and we are still growing. And this is the largest community in the Asia Pacific region for Atlassian. So thank you so much for being part of us and helping us grow this strong. So far, we have completed 103 events, and this is 104th event. So that was not easy. I think it's been 9-10 years now since we started this community, and we have been running. And I think analytics was not there back then, but now we are happy that we have analytics, and it's able to pull us a lot of insights into what happens with every event, and how many people sign in or sign up, and then how many don't show up. I have statistics for that as well. So this is a very concerning number. So for every 100 people who sign up, only 33 people show up. Is that a good number? So I think that's what now we are trending to change. And that is why now what you see is a change coming through, right? I mean, we want to ensure that whoever is registering to these events, we want to ensure that we screen them and then we release those event passes. Because otherwise what happens, it's a free event, people will all hop in. And Bangalore is the only community in the entire world where we publish the event and the event gets sold out within 2 hours. So surprisingly for this event, we had close to 614 check-ins. I mean, not check-ins, I would say registrations. And we still haven't crossed 33% mark at this stage. So we still put up a lot of seats there, but then, this is what it is. So that's why we wanted to now gate and ensure that people who are waitlisted, they get a fair opportunity to come and join, right? Not because everybody wanted to hop in and then they block the seat, but they don't show up. Now, does anybody has a clue here how many people are waitlisted for this particular event? You can shout. Sorry, this is not a political event. I heard it's 2K. I wish that'll happen, because I think I was one among the very few enthusiasts who were, thinking that I think this hotels are falling short for us, the kind of members what we have in Bangalore. So I did propose to create a mega event in the Palace grounds in Bangalore, right? But with this check-in rate, I think even my desires were straight away knocked down, because they said first improve your check-in rates, then we'll hire you a Palace grounds for your event. And trust me, we will do that, okay? That's my inspiration. We will definitely do it, and I want everyone to benefit. And these are the co-leads of Bangalore chapter. There is Vishnu, then Nagaraj, then it's me. I'm Girish. So Vishnu was here around. I don't know if he's here. He's right there. So, and Nagaraj, right now he's in Netherlands, and I am in Bangalore. So with that, I also want to give you a quick announcement. Maybe later again we'll announce. So we have a Get Credentialed event, which is coming up on 19th September. And the venue is still not finalized, even though you see this around Marathalli, Bellandur region. I'm still working on the venue. So this is a very first event of its kind where we will not just give you training materials, but will also help you to get your first Atlassian credential. And this will be on Rovo fundamentals. So you walk in as a user, normal user, and then you walk out as a certified engineer. How cool is it? And this is going to happen. We are at least planning to get at least 100 certified engineers walk out on 19 September. So please, it's already full right now, but you can still waitlist. So you can still go and opt in for that. And what we'll do is there are some criterias that we have asked you, some mandatory questions. Please go ahead, answer those questions, and we'll screen that in the back end, and we'll accordingly, enable those seats for you. But one promise what I want from each one of you is if you are RSVPing for this event, we want you to really come. And the most secret, right? This is an open book exam. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean that we will allow you to open and keep something right next to you and then start answering them. You are still being governed with the certifying body, which means you will not be able to open other windows on your laptop. Right? Only the exam window will be open. And then you will have to take that 20-minute exam and get yourself passing score. Okay? Any questions on that? Are you ready for an open book exam? Okay, and we will have strict invigilators for that. I'm sure I'll ask support from the Atlassians here. I think we have few Atlassians in the room. Can we please have a wave of hand? Yeah, so if anything isn't right, you know whom to now go and catch. So they are here today to help you with any Q&As, questions, any queries you have with respect to the product, the functioning, the agentic AIs, Rovo, they're here to help you out. You can always reach out to them. You can reach out to us. And I think we still have few more volunteers in this room who can also help you if you need any support. Okay? Please do not panic. If something isn't working, just raise your hand. We'll come to your seats and we'll help you out. I would like to now welcome Sushmita Vijay-Raghavan. So she's going to quickly give you an intro about today's agenda, program, the speakers. So she's going to walk you through that. And once again, thank you so much for taking out your time. And we'll see you later. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Namaskara, Bangalore. Thank you so much for joining us today. We officially welcome you to the Atlassian Bangalore TWC Roadshow event. So I'm Sushmita Vijay-Raghavan from the Solution Engineering team at Atlassian. And here, along with me, we have the entire crew as well from Atlassian as well as the championship team. So before I actually introduce all of them, let me actually talk to you about what the brief agenda for today is going to look like. After the intro, we're going to actually take you through two important workshops, right? One is going to be your hands-on Jira workshop, which is going to be, of course, 1.5 hours long, post which we would break out for lunch, and then we would come back for another power-packed hands-on workshop for Confluence and Loom as well. In the end, we would open up the forum for question and answer, wrap it up, and then you all are out for happy hour on Friday. On that note, this is a super interactive community. A quick show of hands on who loves using AI for their day-to-day work. Amazing. So what is the most used AI tool by you guys? Okay. So I think why we are here today is, of course, Claude is great. We all use Claude as well. But we are also here to introduce you to what we have. And of course, you all are using it. We want to talk more about it and so on, right? So, of course, every one of you, without an exception, is using AI, right? So we see how AI is completely reshaping the industry. There is no more a question about whether you want to use AI, is AI exciting, and so on, right? It is more a question about what is the impact that AI can actually bring us. The biggest challenge today is a lot of things, right? Be it your AI agents, automations, stuff that we're doing is actually super isolated, right? Data is isolated, floating in a vacuum. Agents are doing their own stuff. This is where the biggest challenge actually occurs. So we're not able to make sense of where the single source of truth is, we don't have the complete context, this actually decreases the efficiency, the productivity, as well as the turnaround times. So today's event, we're going to actually be focusing on how the TWC or the teamwork collections can actually help each and one of you increase your productivity, efficiency, as well as your day-to-day jobs as well. So with that, this slide might look boring, right? But I think what you would derive more value out of is sort of what I'm going to tell you. So each of you are Jira users or Confluence users, are using all of this in silos, right? But today when we speak about the teamwork collections, we have actually understood and sort of heard your challenges. You mentioned how your teams, possibly your PMs are working separately, your engineering teams are working separately, your product managers, QAs, etc., are working separately. So we've actually bundled, sort of these solutions which make sense into a portfolio to actually present to you the TWC or the teamwork collections that would help solve for the challenge that we're actually speaking about. So this bundle actually consists of Jira, Confluence, which you all love. It also consists of Rovo, which is our AI, and Loom as well. Of course, I'll take you through what these are. Jira is nothing but, of course, our orchestration layer. It is the system of execution where you get work done and ship it. Confluence is more of, it converts your organizational knowledge into coordinated, outcomes and actions. Loom, something, it could sound new to you all, but it is, it is more of a asynchronous video AI that captures your entire organizational context asynchronously. And Rovo, which is the highlight of today's conversation actually, is our AI, right? So it cuts across all of these solutions, all the solutions that you're actually able to see on screen, and it actually helps in connecting the dots, surfacing the right insights, and making sure none of the data actually slips through the cracks. Now, before we actually go ahead, some of the most important things that you guys are going to take back with you, right? What are the goals for today? So when we actually talk about goals, we spoke about how we are going to speak and understand more about Jira, Confluence, Rovo, and Loom, but not in an isolated manner, right? You are going to actually bundle it, and we're going to learn about it as a complete system of work and how it's going to supercharge your organizations, your day-to-day work, as an individual, as a team, as well as an organization. Number two, this is not just a watch and learn session. Each of you have your worksheets, your laptops, your login credentials. So what is super important is you're all going to be doing these hands-on sessions live right here with us. Three, of course, Rovo is the champion today. You're going to go back understanding more about Rovo, how it can be used in your day-to-day, and also what it does, not just for you as an individual, but how your entire organization can actually not just adopt it, but also embrace it. Most important, right? So feel free to raise your hands, ask questions. We have a forum. We will open out a forum for your question and answers. The entire team is here to answer your questions. In fact, we love questions. This is the most active community out here in India, right? So we love it. And the last one is we have such an active cohort of people. Please talk to your neighbors. Keep exchanging those ideas, brainstorm. The entire forum and floor is yours. Okay, so before I hand it out to my speakers here, right? So important fundamentals and foundational concepts that I want to talk to you all about. The next 5 minutes, I don't want it to go to waste. Ayushi and Girish have actually woken you up. This could be a little dry, but please, just for the next 5 minutes, hearing this out will actually make you understand the fundamentals of, what we're going to take you through today. Right? So before I actually jump in, we have spoken about Rovo, and let me also talk to you about what Teamwork Graph is, right? So Teamwork Graph is nothing but the brain of the system, or rather the platform. It's a sophisticated data layer, a unified layer that actually powers the entire context of what Rovo really surfaces. So let me give you an example, right? So let's say you're speaking to Claude, or in this context, you're speaking to Rovo. When you ask a question and it gives you like an amazing answer, you can't help wonder, hey, how did it give me that super cool answer? It's so accurate, right? So, and when you trickle that down further from an organizational sense, leaders would wonder more in terms of, hey, is it surfacing, data that it shouldn't surface to my users? Who can access all of this data? What is going to be visible to my users, teams, and so on? So that's exactly where all of these three different concepts comes into play. One, we are going to be talking about connectors. Two, about control. Three, about context. Just a quick raise of hands if any of you have heard of these three terms and have some idea about it. Okay, so great. This leaves room to know more and understand more. So when we actually speak about connectors, right, so it's super simple. How do we really connect to third-party applications? Quick thing, each and every one of you here is not just using one application or just Atlassian, right? So each of you is using hundreds of applications, if not more, from an individual level as well as an organizational level. So how do we connect Rovo to each of these applications or the relevant applications to pull and push data in a super secure manner? So there are these four ways, or rather four types of connectors that we have. One is going to be your synced connector, where you actually sort of index all of that data into your Atlassian workspace. And this actually requires quite a lot of admin heavy work, right? And it's going to actually provide you with super sophisticated, reliable, and real-time answers. Number two is going to be a synced light, which actually is not admin heavy, and it actually does indexation in real time. Based on a question that a user asks Rovo, the indexation happens on the fly or on real time. Third one is your direct connectors, which would be pretty much in terms of, let's say your organization does not believe in indexing, has a lot of questions about the security of indexing and so on. It would be more of a way to use direct connectors where whichever application they're trying to call, you're actually hitting, or rather running an API call on it so that you're pulling the right information from the right third-party application in real time. The fourth one are smart links, something that we all use day in and day out, right? I mean, including ourselves at Atlassian. So they're super lightweight in nature. And for instance, let's say you want to bring a FigJam link into Rovo, or a Confluence link, or a Slack link. You pretty much take the URL and sort of mention it as a part of Rovo, and it captures the entire essence of what is the context you're trying to pull in. So these are, the stuff that I want to talk to you all about connectors and how you can pull and push data from Rovo, which makes it super important for actually getting that entire context. The next one is especially with respect to control, right? So control, privacy, security all become super important when we're talking about AI. And this, believe it or not, possibly we don't talk about it, day to day, but all of your admins, your leaders are talking about this, and this is the first thing that comes to their mind, right? So what kind of data is accessible? Who can really access Rovo, right? Are we able to actually create agents somewhere else and bring them into Rovo? So firstly, when we speak about what data comes in, it's pretty much about what admins sort of allow list or block list in terms of applications, in terms of data, and so on, right? So as an admin, I have the opportunity to actually block list an application, block list streams of data, or sort of, let's say there is some indexed material that I have, and I want to delete it within a particular set of days. Number two, who can access Rovo, right? Sometimes I don't want to provide access to the entire organization. Can I provide it to an entire group, a set of users? Who should be able to create agents and use it, and so on becomes super important, and admins can control it. MCP and Forge also becomes super important in terms of actually creating those agents elsewhere. Example, a Claude, a Canva, a Figma. Invoking them into Atlassian, you also have the capability to, of course, block list, and sort of toggle on and off what data you want to bring in from those third-party applications as well. Having said this, the last would be your context. Context is, of course, the most powerful thing here in terms of when we're speaking about Atlassian data, it's all of your Jira data, your JSM tickets, your Confluence tickets, and so much more. Third-party data would be, of course, all the data that you have gotten into the system using connectors, and of course, the power of the teamwork graph that we spoke about. Lastly, your page and browser context and your conversation becomes important because your context, right, what you've been speaking to Rovo doesn't just get eliminated and you're not starting from scratch again. All of this is a tied thread. It is getting linked. So any follow-up question you have will become, sort of on top of what you've already asked, right? So super contextual. So team, I think this, the sort of hands-on you're going to do today, the conversations that you're going to have today, has all of these foundational layers and these fundamentals that would actually help you. So I hope, this is something, feel free to raise your hands in case you have any questions about the three concepts as well. Now, who's awake? I see so many are asleep. I think Ayushi is yet to, come back on stage. Okay, so let me go ahead, without further ado, go ahead and introduce our speakers for the day. We have Swarna Mehta, who's our Senior Product Manager from Atlassian, who would be taking you through the entire Jira workshop. We also have Hetal Sanghvi, who is our Senior Solution Sales Executive, and Hani Nitarwal, who's our Solution Engineer from Atlassian. They would be driving the Confluence Loom workshop, hands-on workshop for you all. We have a power-packed session for you all. Right? So the next 1.5 hours is going to be run by Swarna Mehta. So I'd love to call her up on stage here.
Hi, everyone. How are we feeling? Hands-on, hands-on, hands-on. I'm the hands-on. Okay? We will just start. I'm Swarna. I'm very excited to be here. I'm a senior product manager at Atlassian. Been around the company for about 6.5 years, almost nearing 7. So agents are right now the bread and butter of my everyday. So totally hold me accountable. I'm going to be around till about 4 p.m. here. Ask me questions even after I'm off stage. So really excited to be here. So should we start? Okay, cool. So over 2 decades now, Jira has kind of been the place where you have planned work, and you have organized work, and you have documented work. But that's like this planning and tracking is only probably like 50% of the work, maybe not even. There's a lot of work that actually needs to get done for that work to get moving, right? Like the triaging, the ensuring that the code is committed, ensuring that the quality is good, all of this, right? But that stuff typically is not done in Jira. With now AI agents, that's set to change. So how you look at Jira is not a place where you track work or you only plan the work. The shift is that Jira is now the place with AI agents that can get the work done. You don't need to get out of Jira at all. And in the next 60 minutes, that's exactly what we all together will do. This is a live demo, very much in the spirit of how our team event got done this year, as a live demo. So let's see how that goes. And just to set you up, how are AI agents even positioned in Jira? The closest mental model that I would give y'all is basically think of them as assistants and teammates. Okay? They are assignable, they are mentionable, they are people, essentially, they can get the job done, and that's the closest mental model to think of. And that's how we think of it internally. And the thing is, with Jira, these AI agents live within the context of your work, with your issues, inside your projects, in your Confluence pages. They basically live where your work is. So you don't need to constantly copy, paste, put your context from here in another chat window, or put stuff in Claude. I use Claude a lot, but using Claude inside of Jira, way more powerful, way more powerful, much more efficient. So you'll see whether it's Lovable, whether it's Canva, Figma designs, Claude, all of this is things that you can just add to Jira. And why we recommend using it within Jira, I think you will feel the power of that today. Not having to switch tabs, not having to install a separate app or CLI is really, really powerful when you have to work at scale. So this is your centralized place where your essentially source of truth of work lives, right? And AI, as I was saying, they are mentionable, assignable, and they can integrate to your workflows. So you don't even have to do this manually every time. They can just become part of your workflows in your spaces already. I'll show you how. And essentially, yeah, if you take away one thing about this Jira session, think about AI agents as your teammates in Jira. And that's the mental model I want you to operate with today, okay? And my goal with this session is pretty simple. you'll have a direct practical experience of how agents in Jira operate today. This is not theory. This is not a roadmap of how it will be 6 months from now. This is something you do on a Friday today, and if you're not working the Saturday, Monday can do with your teams. So it's already in production. It is in stuff that you can start implementing right away. And we have, like, the reason we spend so much time in actually giving you the Wi-Fi access and setting you up is we've set up some sort of a sandbox environment for you right now to be able to actually go wild and do whatever with the agents that you want to, because that's not what you want to do with your live instances. But that will hopefully give you confidence to start actually playing around with what you would do in your day-to-day. So that's the context of what we are doing. What will you do in today's session? Everything that I mentioned. You will be assigning work to agents. You will be creating new work items with agents. You will be improving work items, triaging them with agents. You will actually be committing code with agents. You will be adding them to your workflows and implementing work and actually scaling that up with automations. So essentially, from the manual invocation of agents, you actually go right up to automating it so that you can set it and forget it and agent just do the work, right? So that's hopefully the breadth that we'll be able to cover today in the next about 60 minutes. So to help us through this, we have a scenario, okay? Everybody just think for now, we don't work in the companies that do. I don't work at Atlassian, you all don't work in the companies that you do. We actually work for a company called Teamwork Eats, okay? And Teamwork Eats is a place which essentially is a food delivery app. And you know what, for the last many, many years, nobody's changed the UI checkout experience. And it's broken and all the metrics are broken. There's a lot of dropout rate, all the problems. Hopefully everybody can relate to it, kind of problems that we deal with, right? And the reality of this is, I'm sure over the lot of time that we've spent collecting feedback on this, this feedback doesn't live in one place. Like, it's part of brainstorming somewhere. It's one customer conversation somewhere. It's notes in your notepad somewhere, okay? So imagine the product team, our product team, has assimilated all of that separate things into one Confluence page that essentially looks like notes. It doesn't look structured. It's not pretty. It's not in a way that, say, you can directly convert to tickets. Let's see what agents can do there. So as I said, we'll go through the whole assign the work agent, use the agent to create work items. But we'll do this in this context so that it helps us, direct ourselves. So this, again, it's not a demo. We want you, we spend so much time setting you all up because we want you to follow together. Beyond this, very quickly, my screen will look like exactly what your screens will look like. It's a live demo. Pause me, stop me, ask questions. The entire team is there. That's the whole point of this. We want you to feel familiar with this and even confident to some degree to start doing this in your own instances, okay? Hopefully, there'll be a few wow moments here and there, okay? That's about it. So we get the scenario of what it is. This is where, so throughout the rest of the session, I need 2 tabs open for all of you, and only those 2 tabs. Please log out of your existing Atlassian accounts. Open an incognito tab if you need to, or just log out of your existing one. Log into this one, and that's one of the tabs that I need you to be open on, okay? And if you haven't already logged in, this with /login, and please log in. Your login information is, I think, already passed around, so I hope everybody's set up. Anybody who's not set up with this site already or is not able to open this tab, because without that, we can't follow along. All good? People? Okay, fine, cool. And essentially, ensure that you are on Jira. You will use Confluence next, but ensure you're on Jira. When I say create a space, please create it in Jira and not Confluence. So I'm just setting that up, hopefully to clear out. All of us have the same password, not best IT practice, but works for now. So hopefully you are logged in and in Jira before I start. And the next thing I need you to do is essentially click on Confluence here, okay? And when you do click on Confluence, you will see this space called Beyond Code Gen, okay? Click on that. So this is the second tab I need. First tab was the Jira login. Second tab, I need you to be on this page, which is TWC Roadshow Jira AI SDLC Hands-On Workshop. So this is essentially the digital copy of what you have as printouts as well. Having this accessible will help you copy paste some of the the prompts we've pre-configured for you just in the interest of time. So 2 tabs everybody should have open. First is the DVAO Atlassian University login Jira, and the second is this Confluence page. I will not proceed till these 2 tabs are open because there's no point, right? So I'll wait. Like everybody, yeah, make some noise when y'all are done. Yeah? Yeah? Everybody, back there, everybody got the 2 tabs open. What are the 2 tabs? Jira and Confluence. This page on Confluence and Jira, okay, with the login. Cool. Everybody set? That should have us in, and that's the end of my presentation, and now my screen will look exactly like what yours should look like, okay? So give me a moment to switch things around. Where is mine? Give me a moment. Connected? Yeah, that's it. So y'all are all on this side, right? Okay, everybody here? Okay. Let me mirror my screen so that it's easier for me to. I'm just mirroring to help me look at that. Give me a minute. Okay, everybody here? Everybody on this Jira side, right? Okay. So the first thing we'll do is essentially create a space for each one of us, okay? So that we're all working in our own spaces, not getting in each other's way, okay? So hit plus here and ensure you're in Jira and not in Confluence, and hit plus. Let's see if the Wi-Fi is supportive. Yeah, and go to software development because that's the use case. We are all the software development team of Teamwork Aids. Pick any template you got. I'm going to pick up agentic engineering just because it gives us some pre-built things. You can pick any. You can add agents to absolutely any. And I'd say this will tell us how to use this. Essentially, just say, use template. Give your space a unique, nice name, whatever you want to work in.
Swarna?
Yeah?
Here. I think a lot of people here have Wi-Fi issues. Just a quick raise of hands.
Okay, let's wait. Okay, I'll wait. Again, pause me anytime. I don't want to go skipping ahead of everybody. So,
We'll just give it a minute or
yeah,
two.
we'll help you with your Wi-Fi. This is going to be how this feels. We're going to go on this journey together. While we are waiting, maybe I'll address one of the interesting questions that people might have. When you're thinking of agents as essentially collaborators in Jira, people often worry about permissions, right? Like what can the agent do and not do? And as you were being told, you can control it as an admin, but as an end user, you don't have those controls. So you could worry that like, hey, let me not use this agent because I don't know if I'll break something, right? The agent essentially mirrors the permissions of people who are invoking them. So if I can read a page, if I can access a ticket, if I can write a comment, if I can assign a ticket, if I can transition a ticket, only then an agent can. So essentially this means that agent permissions are guarded by your own permissions. So the agent will never be able to do things that you can't, right? So by design, by default, agents in Jira are providing safe and contextual answers that you don't have to worry about leaking data or leaking things that, hey, am I doing things that will break what, like, I can and cannot do within the system. So that should give you some confidence in using agents. And that also means if I invoke an agent as an end user with permissions in one space, and if I invoke the same agent in another space where I don't have the permissions, I'll get different kind of results, right? So again, the context is important, and the permissions are also important, and they're both mirrored. So that's just something I thought would be interesting for people to know. Yeah?
Okay, quick check again. Is the Wi-Fi sorted? Any raise of hands? Still pending? Okay, just 1, 2 people. Think
Okay,
can
should
go ahead,
we
Swarna.
continue or like, yeah, let's wait, no problems. Yeah. Yeah. Can we have a mic there, please? It'll be really hard for me to follow. Can we have a mic there? Yeah. So Yeah, let's take that. Yeah, maybe after? Yeah, I'll come down and get you. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and just an info for everyone. After this session, we have another session post lunch, and after that, we are planning to set up a Q&A session specifically, where all of us will be there to answer the questions, right? So we know, we understand, and we respect that there will be a lot of questions. If you can just make a note of these questions, we'll spend good amount of 30 to 60 minutes with you to address all of these questions from this as well as next workshop, right?
Yeah.
Just so that we are on schedule and we are respecting the
Cool.
time commitment.
Quickly moving on. Hopefully, we were all at this stage where we are creating the space, if not already created. And essentially, this is telling us what type of work types we have, statuses, views. Just hit next. And right now, I'm not inviting anybody else here. There are some smart suggestions here, but what I will do is, okay, let's see if that's okay. And I'll that I think waiting here has. Let me rename my. Okay. So let's just set up the space and Wi-Fi is definitely. Okay, and I'll do this later. And I hope we're all here where we have the space setup, right? Now in the space setup, you already have like some of these pre-coded tasks, but you don't have to worry about them at all. What you want to do is essentially go to the next step in your Confluence thing and essentially create a ticket. Create a ticket that is essentially a task. It's okay if you leave it as a bug, but just call it a task and say, create tickets from requirements. There's actually like a prefed thing there. So like just create the ticket. As of now, this ticket has nothing. It just has the title. You open it, and the Confluence page that I redirected you all to, I think I'll have to open it here. Yeah. Confluence page that you all have redirected to, just, so we are in step 2 right now. Just copy paste this exact, we've pre-made some of these prompts for you. We are going to use the research skill. So we are going to like just use this, copy paste it into your, sorry, sharing is, yeah, so just put it in your ticket. Go back to my presenter kit and I'll, in the same ticket, put this as your description. Following along so far, any doubts? An important note here, there's a red section here for insert your Jira space link. So please correct your Jira space link in the ticket. Clearly, Wi-Fi is... I'm trying to update the description here. Wi-Fi seems to be pretty... I'm not able to... see, that long to load. Just slow. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So ensure that like the same thing you've just copied, and like you can write anything here, you can put your own prompt here, but we've just, to speed it up, we've put the same thing, like we've put this thing here, and insert your Jira space URL link here. So in my case, it would be this and presenter kit, right? Yeah, everybody done with this? Save it, and then just, you can assign it and go to assign and call Jira coding agent. Okay? So hope you're following along. What we're doing here is, you will see as soon as you assign it, this, you will see the agents tab immediately showing that the agent is working, right? And the agent is working, and I'll get you to what it's doing in the background. But essentially, what have we given? We have used the issue as context for this Jira coding agent. It's right now not doing any coding, but it's helping breaking down of these tickets. Essentially, we've given it this product brainstorm. If you click it, you will see that it's essentially this notes page that I mentioned, right? A lot of unstructured ideas. Oh, question mark, is this okay to do? Is it not okay to do? So this is like that notes page we have given. And we have given, since this space is already connected to a Bitbucket repository, and right now I'm not going to get into the details of like how that is done. We've just pre-built that for you right now. But imagine you have a space that is connected to your Bitbucket repository. It is fully aware of your coding structures, like your entire code base and how it works. So what it's doing is, what a PM and engineering lead or like a bunch of engineers will have to spend at least an hour, maybe more, to sit down and check feasibility of ideas, right? And then create tickets from them. What does that mean? It understands what is the code base, what is feasible, what is not. It understands the requirements and the questions that the PM is doing, and it's mapping both. And those ideas that are deemed feasible, it's going to create tickets, because that's what it's asking this ticket is trying to do. Let's get in, inside this, open this, and you'll see, get a sneak peek behind the scenes on, how this is working. So just because this is an important highlight, we've done this before where you needed a CLI or some sort of a, terminal to get into this. Note that you have not moved out of your browser. You can do all of this from your browser without installing anything, without a separate login, nothing. You are in Jira, and right from Jira, you have opened essentially what the workings of what an agent is doing right now. So I know that a lot of us are trying to do this in parallel, so we might get results at different times. But essentially what Jira coding agent is doing is, it is mapping all the requirements and its understanding of the code base, like your team's code base, to punch out tickets after tickets of what we will need to do for this opportunity. As you can see, all this, the agent is working, and like you can see how it's thinking, what it's trying to do, what the tools they are using, and all of that. We'll have to leave this for a bit. And essentially, this environment is available to you right on your browser. It's not separate, and these sessions are stored. So you can come back to this at any point to see what the thinking of like Rovo has been, right? And see, as issues are getting created, you can see that it's creating Jira issue, creating Jira issue, creating Jira issue, right? So let's wait for it to like, the first 4 tickets have already been created. So it's essentially with a simple prompt and one Confluence page, which is just, like, please have a look at that page. It's not structured. It's not like the pretty outcome of a product, like full process, which says, okay, these are the tickets that we need to work on. It's essentially just ideas, and that has been mapped with the code base to try and assess by the agent what are these tickets. This would take a day, maybe even more, for teams to do. And this we are doing in minutes with agents, right? So going back to, and like while this is still working, I'm going back to essentially the space to try and see if it is in fact creating tickets. You see this number here? We started with this template that had 3 or 4 tickets, and we created one more. We're already at 14, and I think more will come in. So what has Jira coding agent done for you? If you open any one of your tickets, you will see, say for example, add micro automations, right? If you open this, you will see that it has created tickets, not by humans, primarily by the agent only. And you will see the depth to which the details have been figured out, right? And this is probably, like, I'm hoping it loads soon. Essentially, if it's loading on your laptops, you will see that these tickets are more detailed than most average Jira tickets, right? Like, we typically start with just the description and some things, and then as we work on it, we keep improving, right? You will see that the quality of these tickets, the details, right, exactly. Look at this. What and why, what needs to get done, acceptance criteria, definition of done, dependencies, everything has already been filled out. No human did that, and it happened in minutes. Like, if a team had to sit down and do this from that Confluence document, I think depending on how mature each of our organizations are, it might take like an hour to a day, and how complex is it, to like weeks to get this done. We've all done this together in this room in like minutes. So that's first, okay? What you did right now, you essentially just gave a task to Jira coding agent to essentially create the tickets, right? Now, let's pick any one ticket. So that's first thing, like, hopefully this was a little bit of a, yeah?
If you just go back to that screen where you have acceptance criteria, definition of done, everything.
Yeah, sure. I'll open any, like, most tickets will have this, yeah?
So now my question is totally related to the governance, how you're connecting with that governance team, because it all have the criteria which you have defined here by your agent itself, right? But how do you just, match with the governance, that is it acceptable or not?
Correct.
Starting from definition of done, every project has their own, norms.
Correct.
How do you connect with that thing? Because your agent only written the one which is generalized one, right?
No, so the agent is doing what we asked it to do from this. So if you remember, we created this ticket of create tickets from requirements. You can make, and it's using this prompt as the guidelines, right? So this particularly says that for each proper idea, produce why it matters, list of exceptions, any dependencies, a flag, blah, 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 all of those things, right? You can detail this out as much as you want. You can start saying
where we need to keep that detail, because this is only the prompt you trigger. This is a triggering one for you, right?
Correct.
But it has some background from where it has to pick it up.
Correct. So again, like, imagine a product manager or a team of product managers actually wrote this prompt. They can say that, okay, in the criteria, mention these things. If it meets it, doesn't meet it. So you can detail this prompt out as much as you want. And then, of course, we have a principle of human in the loop, right? So before you start, if you wanted, like if your organization wanted, you could have like a product manager actually look at all of this and just approve that, yes, this is good or not. Depends on like what your organization wants.
So there must be somebody who can just do the checkup, right? That's what you're
Correct.
saying.
So these tickets, before you proceed, like before they are in progress, a human could, like by your organization design, could check it.
So I'm just eliminating that kind of auditing part, right? When you just do all this thing before closing the ticket.
Yeah.
Every checkpoint should be matched this one.
Correct.
Well, where that scenario comes in, because you're only written the code at this point in
Yeah,
time.
so I think I'll get back to you on this. I'll continue with this. I will get back to you for sure. 100% there is a way, and the way is better prompting, but I'll come back to you on that. Yeah?
So I think, let me answer that quickly. So what you're seeing right now is just representation, just to get things done here, right? But when you do it in a production environment, it's going to be very different, right? There's a possibility you might have acceptance criteria somewhere listed down in Confluence and things like that, right? So right now we are just trying to like do as quick as possible to just get you a sense of what's happening. But yeah, there's a way. We'll answer that as well.
Okay.
Please, please.
Now moving on. Yeah. Yes, so you can, like right now we've given you a base prompt. The more advanced your prompt is, the outcome will be exactly as you want it. But just the magic of actually creating these tickets is what we wanted to demo, okay? Moving on to the next point, okay? Now, this is where you manually like went and assigned something, right? Imagine you want to do this like repeatedly. We don't want you to open the issue every time and do that. So one easy way to do this, do you see the add agent button here? Please click it and add triage agent here. I'm just demoing one. You can add absolutely anything that you want. So Jira triage agent. Right now, look at your step number 4. Do you see that? Sorry, step number 5, I'm still following here. You can add the triage agent to the column. And essentially what it will do, any agent, any ticket that you pull into that column, triage agent will start working on it, right? It's a pretty simple mental model there. And this you can only do if you are an admin of the space today. That will also evolve as we go, as we start trusting agents more. But right now, it's only big, and that's why creating your own space was important. And that's what we'll see right now. So add the triage agent and start. So what that will do, what will a triage agent do? It will essentially improve the quality of your ticket. Like it will ensure that all the description is actually there. To Sir's point, maybe that's not enough, like whatever default thing comes, and you can use another agent to improve the quality, right? And you can give it additional prompts right now. Just for easiness right now, I'm not going to add another prompt here. Just for this demo, you can choose to. So what I've done right now is added, if you see there's a +1 and you can see the Jira triage agent is there. I'm actually just for now going to remove the other agent, which came with this this particular template that we use. Just so that we can see it, I'm going to pick a ticket that is actually visual in nature so that we are able to see what it's going to change. So I'm going to like just drag and drop. So I hope everybody is doing along. Please follow along. So if you see, all I've done, like before this, we actually went and assigned the agent. Now we've simply dragged and dropped. If you can see the same place, the Jira agent is working already. And yeah, and you'll see like it's trying to tell me something. So you will see that like it's looked at this and like the task is described as follows, and like it's working on this thing, and like it has already updated anything that it needs to in terms of polish to the description. Checking in, is everybody following along so far? We've so far explored 2 ways of using agents. One is assigning the agent, and we literally with the Confluence page created tickets where it's mapping the code base as well as the requirements because the Bitbucket repository is already connected. And the other one is essentially adding the agent to the column where a simple drag and drop triggers the agent and does whatever you have asked it to. We've just given the triage use case. So far along? Okay, we're getting on pretty quickly and pretty well. Smart crowd. And that's how far we are right now. So right now we've not added like conditions to it. So like it essentially triggers for every ticket that you drag and drop. Later you will be able to like add conditions and like more actions and customizations on top of it, right? So you can use, like there is this, so far are you all aligned, understanding? Yeah? Yeah. 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 You can run as many. If you have 7 agents there, they will all run in parallel. Yeah? Okay, now we'll start trying to do essentially code. Okay? Code with agents. Now, when you are done with triaging essentially, what we want to do is essentially trigger the Jira coding agent again to actually get to a working code. Okay? So for now, since we've removed the agent, I would just go to this agent, like a third way to invoke agents without assigning. Say you are the assignee for this and you don't want to change the assignee, you simply can just go to agents and click Jira coding agent. Okay? So please follow along. And now that this description that no human has written and no human has triaged so far is getting worked on by the Jira coding agent. And if we wanted to smartly do it, we can just add the repository right here. But if you see the agents panel, it says select repository. Please go and select the repository. In our case, it should just default pretty quickly because we've already set it up for you. Otherwise, you'll have to connect Bitbucket repository or whichever repository you want here. And then you just say generate code. So essentially a ticket that, essentially we started from a Confluence page of requirements that was essentially a brainstorming. We created tickets so far, we have triaged it, and now we are essentially looking at proper code, production grade code. So I will open this here again. So you'll get to see the behind workings. All of this without installing anything new, without going to your terminal, without switching context, all from Jira from your browser, right? Like that's by design and very intentional by us because the switching cost is real, and especially like we can see teams paying the cost for that, right? Like, it not being efficient. So you will see that Jira coding agent is working on the requirements that have been added. Let's just wait for this. Is everybody able to follow along? This will take a couple minutes to do. And like we're already at step 7 of 10, so we're doing well for time. Yeah, might take a couple minutes, but yeah, see, it's writing code, it's changing the navigation bar, it's doing, like, it just so happens that I had picked up like a ticket that had to do with the micro animations in navbar, and it's actually writing the code. Stuff, again, just trying to, if you actually have to think of it in human team mode, think of, and like we're not trying to replace teammates, but think of being like empowering your teams with something like this, they'll become much faster. Their pace overall will fundamentally change how, like we've seen it ourselves for our teams. I'm sure y'all are all reading like how many PRs are getting generated and this and that. But I do think those are still quantitative metrics. We've literally felt qualitative shift in how much we're able to ship with stuff like this, right? So better, of course, it requires better prompting, better this, but like that is the next frontier of how things are changing right now. So we'll let this work, and we'll see once it's done where we land up. So if you can see, it's saying like, okay, it's adding like a flying animation trigger, and it's adding a bunch of these things. You can also live preview it. Let me see if we can see what's happening there, right? You can try to do that, right? uh, given so many people are trying to do it together, it may break, but you can literally see the agent changing the UI. That's why we picked something in the UI so that it's actually visible, the number of things it's changing and what it's able to do. It's failed right now. I'm just trying again. And so I think we ran into something similar in Pune yesterday, but I do think this is just because so many people are trying to do this together. That's what we have like RCA'd it to, but you should be able to like preview and you should be able to like see that everything, like the code will come up and it'll be ready to just merge into your, like the PR would be ready to merge. So I'll try once more, but so yeah. So if you see create pull request has shown up on top. So even though it says failed, it's actually succeeded. It won't show this otherwise. And yeah, so preview aside, again, this is just a function of internet connection, but essentially what we've gone, I will not actually hit create pull request and actually commit code right now, but the idea is, again, we went from one Confluence page of just requirements to a committed code in maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes. That's the power we want you to feel. Jira, coming back to what I started with, Jira is no longer the place where you only sit and plan work or track work. It's where the work actually happens now. So that's the mental shift that would be really cool for you all to take away from here. So I'll close this for now, and this just takes back to where we started. So it's just a modal on top of it. When you're going there, you're not like switching context or anything. As you can see, the code has been generated. It's linked to the issue, and it's ready to be reviewed and merged. Okay? So that's how far we have come with this, right? So far, 3 ways of adding agents. And I know I'm repeating, but this is new to you all. So I'm just like, so that it's in your mind. You essentially had a ticket which said create tickets, and you assigned it to one agent. You added it to your column so that you can drag and drop and just trigger agentic actions. And without changing the assignee, you've used the agents action button to be able to trigger agents within the context of the issue. Those are the 3 ways that I have shown you so far. Okay? 4th and final way, and that's where the fun begins of actually scaling it. So far, I've always shown you manual ways. You're going to the ticket one by one and actually doing this. You can set up automations for this to happen right in the background. For people who understand automations, probably already get a sense of how that might work, but I'll demo it for you all who might be new, right? So last and final section, guys, some energy. Okay? Yeah, and yeah, so
Can we quickly check a quick show of hand on what step you guys are? Are you still following like exactly around step 8?
Everybody around step 8, yeah.
Raise of hand, please.
All good? Feeling good about it? Didn't go too fast, too slow? Anything you'd like me to show again? Happy to do that. Sorry? Okay, let's wait. We can wait. We can catch up. I'll get some water in the meantime and then come back, right?
Quick show of hands for how many of you the Jira coding agent virtual session started and you were able to see on the right hand side the code going along?
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
happened.
And for how many of you were able to see the live preview?
Did live preview, like were you able to see the live preview of changes? It's loading. It's pretty cool when it happens. Unfortunately, it didn't show you here, but yeah, pretty cool when it happens, when you see the preview going. Yeah? If you are able to see it, please show it to your neighbors. It might be really cool to like show it for others as well. Yeah? I'll get a bottle of water while step 6 gets done. Step 8 people, ready to start? Okay. Let's go, and like hopefully like it's easy to follow along. Now, as I was saying, we're going to try and set up an automation, okay? So that we don't have to be manually involved in invoking the agent. That's where, this scales, okay? We've all had security vulnerabilities we need to like do manually every week. every now and then. Same is the case with teamwork eats. They need like security vulnerability issues checks or every now and then, right? So we're going to try and automate that with agents and see how that happens. Okay? Now, you will have like the, again, we've pre-fed you a prompt right now. You can choose not to use this. This is just for like time's sake right now. So we can just go back to any of our tickets where you created, like you have an agent session, right? This one, yeah? And just go to the sandbox, right? I just go to review code or just anywhere, right? Because we save all your previous history. So all the context always remains. You don't just lose sessions. Like, this is a struggle that I personally have with using, say, a CLI. Every time I log out, unless I have a beautiful set of .md files, all my context are gone, right? Jira saves your context, so you can keep building on that, right? And what I'm trying to do, let me just confirm here. Does the instruction say that we need to do it? Okay, so we go back to our dash and just literally start prompting, right? It'll say, it's almost like chatting with the agent again, like it doesn't matter what they're doing. We're just like, hey, one more thing, I want you to do this. That's about the mental model, talking to like a collaborator. We're asking it to create security vulnerability tickets, okay? So hold on that. First, let's set up the automation for that, okay? So right now, let's go to automation. How many of you all know how to go to automations? Yeah? Okay. So go here and go to space settings. This is only accessible to admins, so therefore we all have our own spaces. And go to automations. Wait for it to load. Anybody faster internet than me? Yeah, okay. Create flow. And just say create from scratch right now. Then say you want to add trigger. Then just follow the instructions. First, say when it's created, when any work item is created, right? And then add a condition. Go back to your instructions and say the issue summary starts with a specific value, say vuln, okay? So that's what we need to do, right? I'm highlighting so that it's easy to follow for you all as well where to find this, right? So condition is so use issue summary starts with vuln. Okay? So far following? You have screenshots to follow also, so please have a look if you are confused. So issue summary starts with vuln. That's what you need to enter here. Okay? And the action we need to take is where the agents come in. use Jira coding agent, right? So I'll do that right with you. So, and next, and I'll add an action, and I'll say, use Jira coding agent, okay? Now, you might need to connect to Rovo, and then you can put in the custom instruction. For now, you can just use the following prompt that's already given here, okay? You can choose to use something of your own. This is just to like expedite again, right? So essentially what this prompt is telling is that we are creating, like using Jira coding agent as a triage agent, essentially, security triage agent, and saying that if a ticket starting with 1, then do ABCD with that, okay? And we'll have to select a repository. You can select anything in specific, but you can also say info from work item. For now, I'm just going to give it a repository so that, we are sure that like it'll work. All good? So far following well? And then I'll save and enable. And I'll name our flow like one automation. So I'll turn on this flow. All good so far? Able to follow? Any questions? Okay. Now we just go, like you could simply test it by creating a vuln ticket, but what we'll do is slightly more advanced. I'll go back to my like my space and open any ticket that already has like some agent. So essentially I'm just trying to go back to chatting with agents, right? And I'm waiting for this to be able to load so that I can scroll. Yeah. Let me just wait. It'll take a while for me to be able to scroll. That's all. Sorry? Sorry? Can I show you the automation itself? Yeah. So if you go to this space settings, automations, I just created one. And vuln automation. That's the one. Sorry? I'll go to edit. Okay. Here. Yeah, so that's the trigger that I added. Work item created. And I selected essentially the smart values field and say when the issue summary starts with this key, vuln, then use the Jira coding agent. And I copied essentially the prompt from the doc. You can choose to give it your own prompt. Clear? Yeah? Okay. Now I've gone back here. And what I will do is, let me try this one more time. Otherwise, we'll just create a vuln ticket and show you how that works, right? It's just the internet, yeah? So a pro tip here, you don't need to like worry about like, oh, this session has nothing to do with what I need to do now. This is just like, you can just go to our, like, the chat environment without worrying about this session being related to that. And it's just like tapping on your shoulder with like, hey, one more thing, can you do this also? That's the framework that I would give you. So essentially we'll say, use the security audit skill to run a comprehensive security scan. So that's the automation. Please use your Jira space link here. So I've just gone to this chat environment. You can just go back to it if you already have a tab open. Ensure that you give your space link correctly. And yeah, and that's about it. Let's see if it starts creating vuln tickets for us. So this, of course, has no correlation with what was going on, but this is just like literally tapping on the shoulder of a coworker and saying, can you do this one more thing? Again, that same mindset of these are collaborators for you to work in the same context. So let's see what's happening. It'll take a little bit, but this is literally the final leg of what we have to do today. We've set up that automation and we've asked essentially Jira coding agent to like run a security review and create tickets that start with vuln. We know that when vuln starts, like you have a ticket that's created with vuln, Jira coding agent will work automatically on that with that automation. So that's how you get around all of this manual invocation. Imagine you run this every night. Every night, automatically, we create, like you create vuln tickets, Jira coding agents identifies them. It also gets you to like fixes them and actually has in the morning for you tickets that you can review and then just commit to code. So human in the loop is again a very primary principle for us. I think like that's important to us still. We understand you're all organizations that are very mature and we are not at a stage with AI where AI is mature enough for the maturity of the organizations. So human in the loop is still a very, very important principle here. But the idea is you get it ready and like you only have to review. So that's how far we'll go. So let's see if it's creating vuln tickets yet. Let's see. Yeah, look, there's a vuln tickets that's like you'll see like a few of them have been created, right? Imagine you're running this every night. You just have this running automatically. Let's see if Jira coding agent is working on it. See, it's already working on it. Why? Because the automation has been triggered, because the summary starts with vuln. So today, like this is the last way of invoking where you have not manually invoked. You did not use the agents tab or the assignee tab or assign it to a column. This is just pure invocation via automations, and this is agents working for you in the context of your work, knowing your code base, knowing your work, knowing your people it works with without essentially interfering, and you will see once it's done, it'll just move to in progress and be ready for you to review. Okay? So 4 ways to use agents today in the context of your work. We started essentially the only input that we have given you is one Confluence page with messy notes. And we have in the last 60 minutes, about like slightly lesser actually, gone from creating the tickets, actually picking up something, triaging it, committing code, like the PR was ready for us to commit, and setting up an automation for vulnerabilities to be detected and worked by agents without human intervention, ready for you to review, because we have set the principle that humans must always be in the loop. Jira is no longer the place where you just plan and track your work. It's where you can work with agents to get the job done. That's all.